Have you ever silently walked away from a woman, leaving without a single word, and felt the entire energy of your life shift? There's a level of power in that silence most men never realize, because they're caught in the cycle of chasing, over-explaining, and trying to please. But you're different. You're here to learn why silence isn't just peaceful, it's transformational. What happens when you stop begging for attention, stop chasing validation, and unapologetically prioritize yourself? In today's video, we'll unravel this, and by the end, you won't just understand it, you'll embody it. Type silent strength in the comments if you're ready to see relationships from a completely new perspective, because this could flip everything you thought you knew upside down. Too many men spend their time chasing after women who don't see their worth. They text first, plan everything, and bend over backwards, all while slowly losing themselves. The sad reality is, they end up empty, confused, and undervalued. But here's the kicker: walking away changes the game. It's not just about leaving, it's about reclaiming your own power. Think about it. How many times have you been the one putting in all the effort, only to be met with disinterest or disrespect? Maybe you stayed because you thought that's what love looks like, doing everything while she just took. You sacrificed your time, energy, and even your dignity. But that's not love, it's self-sabotage. In this video, I'll show you why walking away without a single word can completely shift the power dynamic. This isn't about playing mind games or being petty. It's about recognizing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less. If you're ready to stop chasing and start leading, hit that subscribe button. This channel is dedicated to helping men grow stronger, not just in their relationships, but in all aspects of life. When you subscribe, you're helping more men step into their true potential. Let's dive in. 1. The power of the unspoken. When you stop chasing, something powerful unfolds that you might not expect. It's not just the silence, it's the vacuum you create, a presence she can't ignore. This isn't some trick or manipulation. This is about a complete shift in the power dynamic. And yes, it's going to sting. Why? Because you've invested your time, your energy, your heart into someone who's taken it all for granted. But here's the game changer. When you pull back, the effect is immediate, and the shockwaves are real. It's not about her wondering if you're mad or upset. It's about her sensing something much deeper. She begins to feel your absence, not just the texts, the calls, or the little gestures, but the presence of a man who once gave her more than she knew. That's when the cracks start to form, because most men can't walk away. They beg, they plead, they keep chasing. But you're different. You've got the courage to let silence fill the space, and trust me, that silence speaks volumes. In that void, she starts to ask herself some uncomfortable questions. Was she wrong? Did she underestimate you? Did she let go of someone who was worth more than she ever realized? These are the questions that surface not because you explained anything, but because your absence has forced her to confront the reality of what she's lost. That's the power of silence. It's not about punishing her. It's about claiming your own power back. Now think about the last time you distanced yourself with intention. You know exactly what I'm talking about. She notices, even if it doesn't happen immediately. At first, she might brush it off. But as time goes on, she feels the gap. The consistency she relied on is gone, and she starts to realize it's not a temporary phase. It's a shift, a change she can't ignore. Deep down, she knows the difference between a man who's distracted and one who's choosing to walk away with purpose. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness. It's strength. It's boldness. It's a declaration that you don't need to chase anyone for their attention. And that, my friend, is exactly what makes you stand apart from the rest. 2. The boldness of letting go. Walking away without looking back isn't just an action, It's a declaration, a powerful statement that you know your worth and you won't settle for anything less, no matter how much you care about her. Here's the truth that many men are afraid to face. If you're constantly chasing her, she's only pulling away. The more you chase, the more you lose yourself in the process. It drains you, it devalues you, and ultimately, it undermines your confidence. But when you walk away, the dynamic shifts completely. Now she's the one left in the unknown. She has to come to terms with the fact that someone who brought value into her life has decided to step back. And that's the real power. It's not about getting her to change her mind. It's about letting her face the truth that she might lose something valuable. The space you create forces her to reflect on whether she values what you offered. Let's be clear. Walking away doesn't mean you stop caring or that you harden your heart. It's not about being cold. It's about respecting yourself enough to set a firm boundary. It's saying, I won't chase after love, I won't beg for attention, and I won't accept disrespect. Too many men stay in relationships where they're constantly compromising their dignity and worth. But not you, not anymore. Imagine a life where you never need to chase after anyone. Imagine the liberation of knowing that if someone can't see your value, they don't deserve you. That's the freedom that comes with walking away. And the incredible thing is, as soon as you stop chasing, you'll start attracting the respect and love you truly deserve. Women take notice. They notice the man who isn't scrambling for their approval. They notice the man who commands respect simply by showing that he respects himself. But here's the truth. Walking away isn't easy. It takes courage and unwavering self-respect because you're forced to face the fear of her not coming back. It means standing firm in the possibility that you might lose her. But ask yourself, what's the real alternative? To keep begging for her attention, clinging to someone who doesn't value you? That's not living with purpose. That's existing. You're here for more than that. You're here to thrive, and walking away is a powerful step in claiming the life you deserve. Third, her emotional shift. Let's explore what truly happens on her side when you walk away. And trust me, there's always a response. It might not be immediate, but it's inevitable. Your absence forces her to step back and reflect, to question everything she thought she knew about you and the dynamic between you two. At first, she might feel a sense of relief. She might even think, finally, he's giving me space. But this relief is short-lived. As the days go by, it shifts. It turns into curiosity, then into doubt. She starts to notice the stark difference between you and the men who are constantly chasing her. You weren't just another guy vying for her attention. You were real, grounded, and different. Now that you're gone, that's when the real emotional awakening begins. She'll replay every conversation, every moment, and every decision that led her to this point. Did she take you for granted? Was she too distant? Did she mistake your efforts for weakness or carelessness? These are questions you can't force her to ask. They only arise when you've created the space for her to feel your absence and recognize the void you've left behind. And here's the beauty of this process. While she's in this emotional whirlwind, you're evolving. You're discovering that your worth was never tied to her approval. Walking away wasn't just a move, it was a powerful statement. A statement that says, I respect myself too much to tolerate anything less than I deserve. Here's the truth. When you walk away with that kind of conviction, it reshapes you. It changes how you see yourself, how you approach relationships, and how you walk through life. You're no longer the man who chases attention. You're the man who commands respect simply by knowing his value. And that's the kind of man she won't be able to forget. Because deep down, every woman values a man who values himself. They are drawn to the man who won't compromise his worth, who isn't afraid to walk away when the situation calls for it. And that's who you are now. So while she's left wondering what went wrong, you're taking control of your journey. You're growing, improving, and becoming the type of man who doesn't just attract attention, he demands it. And that, my friend, is the true power of walking away, not because she may come back, but because you've finally taken ownership of your own life and your own story. 4. Reclaiming your emotional strength. When you step back and let the silence fill the space, something profound begins to unfold. This shift isn't just happening to her, it's happening to you. For the first time in a long while, you're no longer caught up in the whirlwind of chasing, proving, or seeking validation. That space you've intentionally created is where your true emotional power starts to resurface. Yes, at first, it might feel uncomfortable. There's a sharp sting in that silence. It hurts, but this pain is what sets you free. As men, we've been conditioned to believe that our worth is measured by how much we give, how much we sacrifice, especially for others. But when you step away, reclaiming your emotional ground, you realize that belief was a lie. Your value isn't found in how many texts you send, how much you care, or how many boundaries you're willing to break for someone's attention. Your worth is rooted in who you are when no one else is around, when you stand alone, facing your own reflection. Think about how many times you've bent over backward, pushing your own needs aside to keep someone happy. How many times did you sacrifice your peace to hold on to something that wasn't giving you the same in return? What did it leave you with? Frustration, burnout, and a sense of emptiness. That's not love, and it certainly isn't respect. That's self-betrayal, and it ends the moment you choose to prioritize yourself. Here's where real growth happens. Walking away isn't weakness. It's an act of profound strength. It's you telling the world, I am worthy. My time matters. My peace is non-negotiable. The moment you take this stand, everything shifts. The neediness fades, and you start to see things clearly. No longer are you in pursuit of someone else's approval. You're focused on becoming the strongest version of yourself. And let me be clear, this transformation isn't about bitterness. It's not about getting back at her or making her regret her decisions. It's about you learning to let go of the need for her to see your worth, because for the first time, you've discovered it within yourself. That's the foundation of your emotional power, the unwavering understanding that your value isn't determined by anyone's opinion, it simply is. Once you reach this level, everything in your life changes. No more waiting for her to text, no more obsessing over her social media posts, wondering if she's thinking of you. You've let all of that go. Instead, you're pouring your energy into what truly matters, your goals, your growth, your own mental and emotional well-being. And let me tell you, there is nothing more magnetic than a man who is content with himself. The silence you've created is a reflection of the strength you're nurturing within. While she may not understand it right away, she will feel it. She'll sense the shift in the energy between you two, the absence of your constant attention, and that will force her to reflect. But by then, you won't need her to. You'll already be moving forward, focused on becoming the man you were always meant to be. 5. Reclaiming your true worth. The moment you stop chasing is the moment everything about you shifts. The way you view yourself, the way the world sees you, and most importantly, the way you define your own value. This isn't just about walking away from someone, it's about stepping into a whole new version of yourself, a version that no longer chases validation, doesn't settle for crumbs, and refuses to shrink to fit anyone's expectations. When you stop seeking approval, you begin to see your worth for what it truly is, immense. Your value doesn't depend on anyone else's perception. It's rooted deeply in who you are when no one else is watching. Think about the men you admire. They don't chase, they don't beg, And they certainly don't people please. They're just living authentically and unapologetically. They attract attention not because they demand it, but because they exude it. They understand their value, and because of that, they never compromise it for anyone. That's the kind of man you're evolving into, a man who doesn't need validation because he validates himself. Let's address the elephant in the room. Society has conditioned men to believe that their worth is tied to what they can give, how much they can sacrifice, how much they can endure, and how much they can prove to earn someone else's approval. But that's a lie that keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and desperation. Your worth isn't about what you give away. It's about what you claim for yourself by standing firm in your identity and knowing you don't need to compromise it for anyone. This shift in mindset is powerful. It doesn't just change how you see yourself, it changes how everyone around you sees you. Women notice when a man has self-respect. They notice when a man knows his worth, when he sets boundaries, and when he's willing to walk away from anything that doesn't align with his standards. Confidence like that is magnetic, and trust me, it's rare. But here's the real magic. Redefining your value doesn't just shift the way others perceive you, it completely transforms your own life. When you stop chasing after someone else's validation, you free up that energy and invest it back into yourself. You stop living for someone else's approval and start living for your own growth, passions, and dreams. Suddenly, you're not just existing, you're thriving. And that's the biggest differentiator. The fact that you're no longer waiting for someone else to give you permission to be great. When you're in this place, you stop worrying about whether she's thinking of you or whether she'll text back. You're too focused on building something meaningful for yourself. Ironically, it's at this moment, when you stop seeking her attention, that you'll become the man she can't stop thinking about. This isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate the situation. It's about stepping into your power, living life on your own terms, and realizing that your worth was never dependent on her. It was always within you. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop chasing? Are you ready to redefine your value and stop waiting for someone else to recognize it? Because once you make this decision, everything will change. You'll change. Your life will change. And the world will begin to see you for the incredible man you truly are. Someone who knows his worth and refuses to settle for anything less. The power behind attraction. Attraction isn't just about physical chemistry or superficial connections. It's about energy, how you carry yourself, how you show up in the world, and how you refuse to be anything other than authentic. When you stop chasing and reclaim your emotional power, the entire dynamic of attraction shifts. Women don't want a man who's constantly trying to prove his worth. They're drawn to the man who knows his value and refuses to settle for less. That's the difference. The moment you stop seeking her approval and start focusing on yourself, that's when the real magic happens. It's not about playing hard to get or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about being fully you. Think about it. When someone is constantly chasing, they're coming from a place of scarcity. But when you walk away and create space, you send a powerful message that says, I don't need anything from you. And that's when attraction ignites. It's the classic paradox. The less you need her attention, the more it becomes irresistible. Women can feel that energy. It's magnetic. They start to wonder, what's different about him? Why isn't he chasing me like the others? The truth is, attraction thrives in the space of respect, confidence, and self-assuredness. It's in the moments when you're no longer overly available or emotionally dependent, but instead you're grounded in your own life, doing what fulfills you. That's when you start to see her shift. She becomes more engaged, more curious, and more invested. Because deep down, women want a man who can stand on his own 2 feet, someone who brings value to the table without needing to be validated by anyone. It's the dynamics of attraction at play. When you stop chasing, the energy shifts, and suddenly she becomes the one doing the chasing. It's not about manipulating or playing games. It's about embracing your own worth and letting it speak louder than any words or actions ever could. When you master this dynamic, you'll not only attract the right people into your life, but you'll also see how effortlessly everything falls into place. Attraction isn't just about what you give, it's about the power of what you are. 7. Silence, the ultimate power move. Silence is far more than just the absence of words. It's an undeniable force that can shift the entire course of a relationship. When you choose silence, you're not being passive, you're being powerful. It's a tool that demands attention without saying a single thing. Think about it. When you stop speaking, when you stop chasing and allow silence to take over, you create space for reflection and self-realization. That silence forces her to notice you, to wonder, to question everything she took for granted. It's in the moments of silence where you reclaim your power. Most men don't realize that silence isn't about avoiding confrontation or playing games. It's about making a statement. It's a bold declaration that says, "I'm not here to beg for attention, I won't chase, and I won't settle." That kind of confidence is magnetic. Women can't ignore a man who commands respect without uttering a single word. Silence speaks volumes. It speaks strength. It speaks self-respect. The best part? The moment you step into this silence, you stop giving away all your energy. You stop feeding into drama and unnecessary conversations. You're no longer on the emotional roller coaster. Instead, you're grounded. And while she might initially be thrown off, confused by your sudden withdrawal, she will start to realize the true cost of your absence. That's when silence becomes a powerful tool for change. It forces her to come to you, to reflect on the dynamic, and ultimately to see your worth. This isn't about punishing her, nor is it about playing mind games. It's about taking control of your narrative. It's about realizing that the most powerful thing you can do is sometimes nothing at all. Let her feel the void you've left, because it's in that emptiness that she will find herself questioning what she truly wants. Silence is your weapon. It's your ultimate power move. 8. The unapologetic walkaway. The unapologetic walkaway is not just a bold decision. It's an entire shift in your mindset, a transformation that speaks volumes about your self-worth and your refusal to settle for anything less than the respect and value you deserve. It's the moment you stop chasing affection, stop bending over backward to earn someone's attention, and stop tolerating behavior that doesn't align with the high standards you set for yourself. When you walk away unapologetically, you're telling the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you're no longer willing to sacrifice your peace or self-respect for anyone who doesn't appreciate what you bring to the table. Most men spend their time constantly seeking validation, trying to prove their worth through endless gestures and compromise. But here's the harsh truth. If you have to constantly prove yourself to someone, you're already selling yourself short. The unapologetic walkaway is the moment you take back your power. It's when you decide that you will not chase someone who doesn't see your value, and you're not afraid to walk away from anything or anyone that isn't bringing something equal and meaningful to the relationship. This is not about being callous, cold, or indifferent. It's about self-respect. It's about stepping into your worth with absolute certainty. The unapologetic walkaway is a powerful stance of emotional maturity. You know your time is precious. You know that settling for someone who doesn't reciprocate your efforts is a betrayal of your potential. When you walk away, it's not out of anger or frustration. It's out of pure clarity. You walk away because you know that there's something greater waiting for you. You walk away because you're choosing yourself over someone who isn't willing to put in the effort. And that makes all the difference. When you do this, when you pull back and unapologetically choose your own happiness over the fear of rejection or abandonment, women take notice. They sense the strength it takes to make that move. They see a man who understands that he is a prize, not someone who is desperate for attention. That kind of energy is magnetic. Confidence that is rooted in self-awareness is irresistibly attractive. You stop becoming the man who is chasing, begging, or waiting for someone to validate his worth. Instead, you become the man who is too busy building his own life, thriving in his own passions, and focused on his own growth. The moment you walk away, you set the standard, and suddenly, you're the one who has the power in the situation. It's in that unapologetic departure that everything changes for you. The fear of loss dissipates, and in its place you begin to see the freedom in walking away from situations that don't serve you. You become stronger, more grounded in your own identity, and less afraid of what might be lost, because you know that what's meant for you will never pass you by. You're no longer waiting on anyone to complete you. You've already completed yourself. When you walk away without apology, you're no longer trapped in the endless cycle of hoping someone will value you. You've reclaimed your narrative, your power, and your peace of mind. And that is what makes you unstoppable. You're no longer chasing. You're living your life on your own terms. And that's the true meaning of freedom. 9. Building inner peace. Building inner peace is one of the most powerful transformations you can go through, and it begins when you finally stop chasing after external validation. When you stop seeking approval from others, you create space for something even more valuable: the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are and being completely comfortable in your own skin. It's about realizing that your happiness isn't tied to anyone else. It's within you, always has been, and always will be. At first, it might feel uncomfortable to let go of the need for validation. You may feel a sense of emptiness or doubt, especially when you've spent so much time chasing after someone's approval or affection. But this discomfort is where the real growth begins. When you stop seeking external validation, you stop giving away your power. You no longer allow other people's opinions to dictate your self-worth or your happiness. You become the master of your own emotions, and you begin to feel a sense of peace that you've never felt before. This inner peace comes from the realization that you are enough just as you are. You no longer need to prove your worth to anyone. You stop bending over backward to please others, and instead, you focus on taking care of yourself. When you put your energy into self-care, self-love, and your own goals, you start to see how powerful it is to be at peace with who you are. The world might still be chaotic, but within yourself, you remain calm and grounded. And here's the kicker. When you start living this way, it's incredibly attractive. People can feel the peace you radiate. Women, friends, even co-workers, they all sense the confidence that comes from within. They notice that you're no longer seeking their attention or approval because you've found peace in yourself. This makes you magnetic, not because you're chasing others, but because you're living your truth unapologetically. If you're ready to build that inner peace and stop chasing validation, hit the comments with "I'm ready for peace" below. This journey is about more than just letting go. It's about reclaiming your power and living life on your own terms. It's not easy, but the transformation is worth it. When you focus on yourself and stop seeking external validation, you'll find the peace you've been looking for all along. Let's start this journey together. 10. How she reacts when you walk away. Have you ever wondered how a woman will truly react when you walk away, without a word, without looking back? It's not what you might think. She won't just brush it off, thinking you're weak or indifferent. No, The moment you pull away, something shifts in her. At first, there's a sense of confusion, maybe even disbelief. Why isn't he chasing me? Why isn't he fighting for my attention? And that's when her mind starts to race. As the days go by, the realization sets in. She starts to miss your presence, but it's deeper than that. She misses the respect you had for yourself, the strength you exhibited in walking away. The silence you created makes her reflect on everything she took for granted. Was she too distant? Did she misjudge you? Why didn't she appreciate what you offered before? Here's the interesting part. She's not just missing the person you were, she's questioning herself. She'll wonder if she let someone incredible slip away, someone who truly valued her. This isn't about you begging for her attention or chasing her down to prove your worth. It's about creating the space for her to see the value you brought into her life and how she might have missed it. You see, women are drawn to men who have self-respect, who aren't afraid to walk away when things aren't right. When you walk away, you send a clear message. You're not going to settle for less than you deserve. That's the ultimate power. It's not about her coming running back. It's about you realizing your worth, and that confidence radiates out of you. And let's be clear, her reaction isn't always immediate. It might take time, but eventually she'll realize that losing you was a wake-up call. When you stop chasing, you make her chase the idea of losing you. And that, my friend, is when the game changes. So, if you've ever wondered how she will react when you walk away, trust that it won't be how you expect. It's not about being cruel, it's about being confident enough in yourself to know that you deserve better. And if you're ready to take control of your narrative and reclaim your power, hit the comments with, "I'm ready to walk away," and let's dive into this together. If you're ready to stop chasing and reclaim your power, now is the time to take action. Imagine walking away, unapologetically, with complete confidence in who you are and what you deserve. Picture the shift in energy, the impact it will have not just on her, but on your own life. This isn't about playing games. It's about building the strength to know when to walk away and stand firm in your worth. I want to hear from you. How would you feel if you stopped chasing and started living life on your own terms? Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and let's keep this conversation going. Share your experience or even your hesitations, because this journey isn't just about one moment. It's about taking control of your life and moving forward with confidence. Your self-worth isn't up for negotiation, and together we'll dive deep into the true power of walking away. Let's take this step together.